What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Dorkatron Prime. We're going to be sharing with you guys Creepy Loop. You can also say it's 7 Demon Lords. This is going to be the first time I've seen a deck done around this concept. At least I have done and never done this in concept. But basically, you're going to be using 7 Demon Lords in this deck. You're going to be using Creepymon, Lillithmon, and Lucemon. So let's go ahead and jump into the deck. So the whole deck is basically going to be trash from the top from your deck, gaining memory, playing cards for free from your trash, and you're going to be also trying to do a little Lilith loop because I did add in the combo in there. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. So our babies are going to be Pokemon. Trash the top card of your deck every time you swing. We don't want to be running a on deletion baby because we want our bigger bodies to survive, or at least get the value off the bigger body. So the next thing is going to be Goblimon for the level 3s. Really strong card, always going to be viable. Keeping your opponent in a slower pace just because of this card is absolutely amazing. The only thing is that there's a lot more answers to them this set, so you might be running it at 3, you might be running it at 4. It depends on your meta. Labramon is an interchangeable part. I might be changing this out for Itmon, as Itmon is able to add a 7 Demon Lord to your hand. Lotmon being a very strong choice. I might be bumping this up to 4 as well, as Lotmon lets you play a analog for free. Analog gonna be playing for 1, trashing the top 3 cards of your deck, and on top of that, it's gonna be able to get the 1 memory that you used as soon as you tap it. So absolutely amazing card. I think Lotmon makes that tamer overall faster and stronger. So we're gonna be running, you can be running this card. This is a tech option I was just trying out. I don't know if you necessarily need it this set, but it's a really good card, at least in some scenarios. So jumping on to the next thing, we're going to be having 4 Goblimons. Like I said, you don't want your bigger bodies to die, and there's a high probability you won't. Creepymon can swing at 14 up to 17k, so really strong. This card also filters your hand every time you swing. You don't have to just go into mega. Just really good card. It's always interchangeable between the two. If you want your bigger body to die, you always switch to either Goblimon. If you want your deck to be like basically trashed a little faster, the other Goblimon's a little stronger. But we just know our body's not going to die, so we're going to get multiple swings. We're going to be able to go through our whole deck, filtering it out completely. All right, so going on to the champions, we have our promote line. Our promote line is absolutely strong. We know we're always going to use it. I want to bump up Kinkakumon to 2 just in case, because there's going to be a lot of memory blockers and a lot of rookies that we want to get off board, especially with armor rushing, people just dropping them out like crazy. But yeah, Kinkaku, very strong. Ginkaku, very strong. And Promote, just making them absolutely insane. Promote is going to be able to be played by Creepymon for free as well as Zord. So this card is going to be basically looped a bit more. We might be bumping up the ratios between Kinkaku and Promote at least to 2 each, as they do play a really big part in being played for free and being able to get off rush. Next thing is going to be Soulmon. Soulmon is really good in this deck as well, because you do gain the memory. You're making your Skull Satanmon 1 cheaper, and then it also makes your Creepymon cost 1 with Skull Satanmon. So that's a huge deal. You can make Creepymon cost 1 to Digivolve on a ultimate, which is great between him and Skull Satanmon. But yeah, really strong card. I still like it. It's 4 to drop, 2 to Digivolve. Pretty good card. Next thing we're going to be running is the Devimon. It's basically the same thing as Soulmon. You're Digivolving for 1, and you just, you don't really gain the memory. You just I don't know how to explain it. So you're basically going for the cheap turbo over the inheritable. The cheap turbo is still a very viable option. Creepymon's also allowed to play it, which is great because it's a blocker. There's a lot of blocker. I'm seeing like 6K or level 4 hate. So being able to have a blocker out just to shift focus away from your security for 5 seconds is really good. Can put them in a weirder position because they have to go around the blocker. We're able to spam it out as well. So it's pretty good. Next thing is going to be Lady Devimon. We're going to be drawing 2, trashing 2. When did you evolve? Draw 1. So you're basically drawing 3, discard 2, Graceful Charity. We don't really have to explain it that much, but the option card part is also really strong because we're able to get out the Modokis, any of the memory blockers, any of the reduced costs. We're just blowing them up. All right, so for our last ultimate, is not really an ultimate, is Lucemon Chaos Mode, and our first 7 Demon Lord. So oh, we have actually another ultimate, but our first 7 Demon Lord. But what Lucemon basically does is on play or when digivolving, delete 1 tamer or level 6 or lower Digimon. This is going to play a huge factor as the Lucemon is going to be blowing up a tamer or body. Great. Creepy. We'll get to that part now. Skull Satan is a when digivolving trash 2, add a demon lord to in its trait to our hand from our trash. This is really good because we were able to grab back those Lillithmons, so we're able to run it at 2 instead of 3, and we're able to add it back a Lucemon if we need to play it. I've gotten to the point where I can have Lucemon play for 4 instead of 7, which is pretty cool. I mean, playing him for 7 is also really viable, but yeah, it makes a huge difference. Also, when it gives an inheritable, when something gets trashed from your deck, gain a memory, making Creepymon a guaranteed 2 to digivolve, which is huge because the card already does enough to, in my opinion, be justified to have a 4 cost for digivolve. But let's just go ahead and jump into the megas. So we're gonna have 2 Lillithmons. We're gonna be running the loot combo. We're gonna have enough in trash to return 2 always, 2 options always, and we play enough options to always see something. The once per turn gain 2 memory is going to be very good, especially with the Jax raids and the callings, or making a Underworld or Dead or Alive cheaper as well. So next thing we're going to be running is the Creepymon, which is the star of the show. When digivolving, trash 2 from the top of your deck for each Digimon your opponent controls. This is probably the bigger downside out of the whole effects, but with Jogris, which is DNA Digivolve, and a lot of board spamming, you're going to have to, like, they're going to think you're going to be playing Lillithmon once they see it, if in trash or something like that. They're going to have to go wide. They're going to want to kill you fast. If they're not going wide, they're kind of slowing down a bit. But if they DNA Digivolve, you're in a weirder position because this can still swing over whatever swung. This can still swing over any level 6. But if they don't have 2 Digimon, it does become a lot slower for Creepymon. Just putting that out there right now. That's why we do run the Lillithmon option to start forcing out more plays, or we just straight out go into Creepymon. It's still a strong Digimon, having the secondary effect when attacking once per turn for every 10 cards in trash the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck, and then gain 3,000 for the turn. This is crazy just because of the fact that he can go up to 17K, gaining 3K per 10 cards you have in trash. And then trashing 6 cards from your opponent's deck is bigger than it looks, because you can trash a potential Hammer Spark, you can trash Hidden Potential, you can trash a bunch of key cards your opponent needs to start going off. Nobody really realizes this, but once you start forcing your opponent's deck to run out of these options, they're going to start drawing them less and less and less. Let's say your opponent needs a rookie. You mill 3 rookies, you mill 2 rookies, you mill 1, and then they're not going to see 1 for a while, or the ratios are not going to be able to see 1 for a while. Even getting rid of a mega can detriment some decks, because some decks only play 4 to 6. So let's say they have 1 in hand, the one that they don't need, and then you trash the one that they do need. They're going to have to wait until they see the right mega, or at least go into a worse play than they're expecting. This card does put your opponent in awkward positions, which is amazing. So if your opponent does have the 2 or more Digimon on board, you do get the effect. You get to play a level 5 or lower level 5 or lower purple Digimon from your trash. Lucemon, you can play it for free and then pop a Digimon or Tamer on board. Also, if you have more than 1 in hand, you can literally Digivolve Creepymon, activate its effect, pop a Digimon on board. Then you can Digivolve a second Creepymon to pop another Digimon and bring back another level 5. Or you can go Creepymon, bring a Lucemon, and then Digivolve Lillithmon and go loop. And you have 2 megas on board that fast. You're literally paying the bare minimum for a win Digivolving effect. I mean, the bare minimum for having 2 megas on board. This is huge for purple, as they never really had a free thing in this sense. This is kind of like a Lord Nightmon, like I swing play Nightmon effect. They've never really had that, as far as I can tell, at this level. Because playing level of 5s out, there's so many good options. You also have Chimeramon, but you're not gonna want to pop your Creepymon. But you can play Chimeramon, you can play Lucemon, you can play Lady Devi, you can play Kinkakumon. There's just being level 5 or lower in that text just gives you so many different options. It's great. This is because Titanmon, I think, restricted you to level 4 lower. Let's see. Venomiotismon, I think, was with retaliation or 4 lower. Is about the same thing when attacking. So this is going to be a very key card. It being a level 3. I'm sorry. Digi evolution cost being 3 is going to be big. It's just going to be really, really big, as we're going to be trying to turbo out into this as fast as possible. We're going to be playing a lot of overall gain memory effects, and we're just going to be trying to go as fast as possible. This is a really strong deck. It does shift momentum against your opponent, being able to pop Tamers, getting rid of that pesky hybrid, or popping a Tamer like Kenner Davis is huge against them. But definitely recommend trying out this ratio for Creepymon, because you do want to see it all the time. You can add it back to your hand with Scold, Saintmon. Really strong deck. So we're going to be running 2 Zwarts for the Lilith Loop combo. We can also Digivolve over Creepymon. We're going to be running 2 Jax raids. It's still a very strong card. We trash so much in this deck that gaining 2 memory or gaining 1 memory makes a huge difference. We can also loop it with Lilith. Calling from Darkness, we trash a lot. If we put ourselves in a weird position where we can't add the Digimon back to our hand to get in a better position, we can always just Calling for free. For 1, do not pop a Digimon and add 2 things back into our hand so we can start setting up the back again. Or we can always pop something to gain a memory with Analog, or pop something level 5 or higher with Sources to gain a memory with Analog. Or we can always try to, let's say, try to get back the Promote back to your hand. Another good option would be having the Gabu, getting back your Skull Satan or your Creepymon or your Lilith. Our next option card is going to be Dead or Alive. I think this option card is still strong. You can play with Lillithmon for 6. Going to be playing Lucemon. Going to be able to pop a Digimon or a Tamer. It's going to be really good. You can also let's see. You can also use Dead or Alive to bring back your Skull Satan or your Lady if you're in a weirder position. This card is very interchangeable. It was really strong with the Cerberus package. I don't know how exactly I'm supposed to be playing it here, but we do play enough trashing cards. We should see Lucemon in trash. If this does hit in security, it will make a difference. It should 100%. In security, this card is absolutely cracked. But other than that, it's pretty good. I mean, at least you get your on play effects when you play the Lucemon and you get to get rid of a body. But yeah. All right, so we're going to be running 2 missed memory boosts. If you're going to be taking out Dead or Alive, I do recommend bumping this up or at least putting Jack straight up to 30. But missed memory boost is going to trash the top 2 cards of your deck and then trigger draw 1. Your Soulmon also procs with this and your Skull Satan. So if you use missed memory boost, you will gain the memory from them as well as the following turn when you pop this, which is great. It has a delay, gain 2 memory, hitting this in security makes a difference as well as you're able to gain 2 memory too. Great card. I think this card speeds up a lot of purple decks. Should be seen a lot more. All right, so we're going to be running 1 win rate 60% because we're able to play Creepymon for free with this card. We always have an analog on board, so it's great. I think it's a really strong card as you're able to discard, set up the trash already, and then Digivolve into Creepymon for 2, and then the Skull and the Soul will gain you a memory, or you will be able to gain a memory from one of them, or you can discard and then gain a memory off Ginkakumon. So there's a very high probability you're going to be able to use that to the max, which is really great. Analog use, you're going to be running them at 4. You want to see this card 1000% of the time because this card absolutely makes this deck great. As you're able to go into Creepymon, and if it dies on swing, you can at least try to set up again. This deck, this card is literally the fix to Turbo, and it's amazing. The fact that it is, because there's not that much Turbo support that really helps slower decks and slower archetypes, and I think Analog is the answer. Being able to filter through your deck. If you do lose your big body that you paid so hard to get, or you do get sacked, or they're able to get rid of your big body, you're at least able to get something out of it, which I think this game needs to do a little bit more of. But because supporting this type of tamer is just too good, especially for purple. All right. So this is the creepy loop list, or you can call it creepy Luca list, or you can call it even 7 Demon Lord list. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be shooting more videos like this instead of the gameplay content. I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. I'm not really feeling the gameplay content anymore, but it might be coming back in the future. I want to step out of that for a second. I'm not really interested in BT-7 as sacking tamers and security is not the most interesting or the most technical play. It's literally like, oh, I swing, I hit a tamer. Okay, now I am super behind. That's basically how the game feels at the moment, at least for me. When you're losing the tamers that can come out as Digimon and swing, or come as Digimon, Digivolve, and just get so much value is crazy. But yeah, so if anything, I am going to be starting up gameplay content in BT-8 as I'm more interested in that than BT-7 at the moment. But I am going to be trying to give you guys the most possible content for BT-8 with these deck lists. Like, I think this deck has the potential, or at least this card has the potential to put purple back in tier 1. Now with the Creepymon ban, you can also be playing this card in Mastamon. This card super underrated. I think this card is absolutely amazing. I can't stress this enough. I read this card multiple times and I cannot see a fault. There's always an effect proccing off. It always does what it needs to do, and it can swing over every card in the game. But if you guys like the video, remember to like and subscribe, and remember, we brick by nature.